Hi Triple D Divas, it's Miranda from Corgie's Wine and Nails, and today we're going to do an easy DIY dip powder mani using Triple D. So grab your glass of wine, grab your barking corgi, and let's get started. Here's what you'll need to get started. You'll need your Triple D base, activator, and dip top coats. Optional is the brush saver. I think it comes in handy in case you ever accidentally contaminate your brush, then you can save it and save your liquids. You'll want a buffing block. This is a 100-180 grip buffing block. You'll want a small, inexpensive makeup brush. You will want a toothpick. You'll need a cuticle pusher. I really like these with the pumice stone end. They lightly exfoliate with the pumice stone while you push your cuticles back, and it's great. And then you'll want this 100-180 grit nail file. You'll need a paper towel so that you can wipe your brush. Optional is a cupcake liner. And then of course, you're going to need your gorgeous Triple D dips. This is the mani we are going to do today. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is prep your nail. So you're going to want to gently push back your cuticles. And with this pumice stone, you can lightly make sure that any dead skin is cleared away. Once everything's great and ready to go, be sure to file for the shape that you like. I've already filed mine, so I'm just kind of pretending here, but file to your desired shape. And then go wash your hands with Dawn, and if you have it, do a quick swab of rubbing alcohol. That's optional, but if you really want your mani to last, then that will help make sure that your hands are completely dry, clean, and ready to wear your beautiful dip powder mani for 2 to 3 weeks. So my nails are cleaned, prepped, and ready to go. I'm going to take my Triple D dip base. And I'm going to start with Pink Dawn, which is a flat dip color powder. Start 3/4 of your nail down. And this will help ensure that you have a little bit less bulk near your cuticle line. And then you can dip straight into the dip powder. I mentioned I really like cupcake liners, and here's why. Just in case, you can put your dip powder into the cupcake liner. Gently brush with that makeup brush I was telling you about. And then on your second dip, do a full dip. Also see how I'm wiping my brush. And then I'm going to turn it over so that dollop is on the other side. I'm going to get back to that 3/4 line, but now I'm going to push the liquid down and then pull up. Push it down real close to my cuticle, but not touching. And then pull up. Make sure I have a nice even coat over the entire nail. And then wipe your brush on your paper towel and dip straight in. Now that you're doing that, where it's a full coat and it's close to your cuticles, take your toothpick. I told you were gonna want a toothpick. You can also use an orange wood stick, or I've used a drink stir. You can use whatever works for you to just do a nice clean line like this before it dries. And that will make you have that really nice clean cuticle. Gently brush off. And so far, that's just 2 dips. We're gonna do one more dip. See how I kind of like let that back end fall off of the liquid brush, and then turn it over. And then now I'm gonna do a full dip. I kind of start a little bit up, push back, start a little bit up, push back, close to the cuticle, but not touching. Don't get this on your skin because you'll have a lot of filing and correction to do. You want to get just right to that cuticle line. 2, wipe your brush always before you stick it back in. and then dip your nail. As soon as you dip, turn it over and do this toothpick method for a really nice, clean cuticle line. So far, I think it looks great. Now, this is optional. The liquids are very, very thin. So depending on your color that you've selected, you may want to do 2, 3, or 4 dips. It's really up to you. I like to keep my nail a little bit thin. So I'm trying to decide. I'm going to do one more. But this is really up to you. So I'm wiping the back of the brush and then using the side that has the dollop. And then pushing close to my cuticles, pulling up. And then making sure I have a nice, thin, even layer. This liquid base does self-level. I love it. I think it's great. And then dip into your powder. Clean up the cuticles. You're going to do this on all the nails that you want this color. I'm going to save one nail for a glitter dip. And because I want a little extra sparkle. Gently dust. And then repeat on all of your nails. All right, so we're going to switch our dip base out for the activator. And the activator, it does not matter if it gets on your skin. Be very generous with the activator. Make sure you've dusted off all your nails so that you don't get any excess dip powder into your activator. But the activator is okay if it gets on your skin. You just want to make sure that you're giving each nail a nice healthy drink. And to me, I can tell the activator is penetrated all the way through the dip because it will feel cold on my nail bed. So I'm actually going to do 2 coats to make sure it gets all the way in because I want that dip to be solidified all the way through. This basically makes your dip hard. And now you can buff and file. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to buff and file each of these nails. So I'm going to start with the glitter one and I'll show you. I'm going to take the edges off. You can use the grittier side, like the heavier, rougher side of the file with the glitter nail. And that will also help kind of carve in. But I like to do this coffin shape, and so I make sure that when I'm shaping, I'm keeping where my nail edge meets my skin, and then making that angle, and then I do a really just straight across on the top. And so filed that edge nice and clean. We have more to do, but I'm going to do this nail too, and then we'll skip the rest, but just to show you how to get everything filed. All right, so next up, I'm going to show you if you're going to hand file on this nail. So with that same rough edge of my 100-180 grit file, I am going to, right where my cuticle line is, lightly. Let the file, the weight of the file really, see how I'm not even like holding it like cramming it down. Let the weight of the file just softly smooth the edge of your nail. And then if you get a little bit kind of like dip excess on the side walls of your nail that you kind of want to like bring in a little, just slightly keep smoothing that out. Don't force, just let the nail file, the weight of it kind of like in a violin, like run along your nail. And then with the finer grit side, you can tell the finer grit side is a lot more love. then you can use it to smooth off the nail. And I hold it like this. So I put it in between my ring and my middle. And kind of there's my pinky, and then my thumb balances the other side. But mostly I'm kind of doing it like this and letting it run along like this. I hope that you can see this. This is how I would hand file with just the file. And then you can get right along your cuticle lines. You're not cutting your cuticle. You're not digging into your nail. You're just rolling this file and letting the grit do the work. And then you can just kind of move your fingers side to side. And I think that looks great. So I'm gonna do this buffing block. I use the finest side of my buffing block. And buff right along the edges, all around the sides. Again, like see how I'm holding it on the edges like this, and kind of just maybe like giving it a little balance with my pointer, but I'm holding it with my middle and my thumb. And then running back and forth like this, across the top and like around the cuticles. So I feel like that should be nice and smooth. I'm gonna dust it off. And to me, that now would be ready to put a top coat on. All right, so we have buffed and filed and kind of reshaped after the dip for all the nails. I'm gonna go rinse off, and then we'll apply step 2, which is the activator again. Here's what everything looks like so far. I'm really happy with my color choices. Okay, so we're going to do activator again. I've rinsed my nails. Do not wash with soap. Do not use Dawn. Do not use anything else. Just rinse. If you have like a scrubby nail brush, do that too, and get any excess powder off. And then do activator again. This is fine to get on your skin. You can be very liberal with applying it. And I always, especially if I want my mani to last, I'll put it like right around the edges and make sure it really gets soaked in. But you'll feel when it soaks all the way through because it's cold. It feels cold, at least it does on my nail beds. But how pretty is this glitter already? And once it gets the shiny top coat on it, oh, you guys are going to be mesmerized. And Triple D has the shiniest top coat that I've ever used. So I can't wait to put that on. We're gonna let this soak in for 1 to 2 minutes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the activator has soaked in for about probably 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes is all you really need. And then I should have mentioned this earlier. I had talked about using the alcohol, rubbing alcohol. I do this. It's not mandatory, but it is helpful to use an alcohol wipe or just a rubbing alcohol on a cotton pad, and make sure you get any of the activator that's on your skin out of the way too, because that will make sure that you do not contaminate your dip top coat brush. So not mandatory, but really helpful. If you skip that step, totally fine. Just take a dry paper towel and really rub good. Make sure that the activator is dry, that all in your cuticle line is dry. Even when you use the rubbing alcohol, do this step 2, where you're just gonna take a dry paper towel and just get all the nooks and crannies, and make sure that you do not have any excess activator on your nail. It's totally fine to skip the alcohol part, but you just don't want any excess like hiding in your nail bed, like around your cuticles, because that might harden your brush. It might have a reaction, and that's where that brush saver comes in handy. You can avoid that happening by making sure, I'm gonna flip this, it's the same paper towel I was using to wipe earlier with my base. I'm gonna just flip it over. I have it like folded into 4s, you know? And then now we're going to do our dip top. You guys ready? Because this is where the magic happens. Okay. So now we're going to use our dip top. And same thing where I wiped the back and rotated. I'm going to do 3 quick strokes and wipe my brush. Put it back in. Kind of push back to my cuticle line. Do 3 quick strokes. Wipe my brush. Put it back in. This does not have to be your precise application. Push back, pull up, 3 strokes. You're gonna do your precise application on the last round. So you've got one more round to do. Make sure I have the tip of that one. And then just get as close to your cuticles without touching as possible. And then you're gonna do a precise application. But I'm already loving this combo. We should give ourselves a little cheers because we're doing so good on our mani, right? Okay, here's the last coat, and then you can kind of tell, see how it looks a little crinkly? Is that the way to describe it? It kind of gets crinkly, and you can tell it's ready to apply the second. So let's do this. Actually, I think I started with this one. I'm gonna start with this one again. So I'm push back. Now I'm gonna be more mindful to get all the edges nicely. And see how I rotate my finger to where I can apply it, and I always wipe my brush. Make sure you wipe your brush, you guys, it's so important. Okay, so I'm gonna push back a little bit, pull up, let it float, and then rotate my finger, let it float. And if you need a dip again, cool, just wipe your brush. And get right to the edges, pull up. You can do a couple more strokes if you want to. Make sure it's like nice, even coverage. And it's so shiny. Doesn't that look so glossy already? Oh, I love this. Okay, so pushing back against my cuticles without touching, letting the liquid glide, kind of floating my brush, if that makes sense. When I say floating my brush, it's like, a lot of ladies also, here, I'll do it on my pinky to show you. A lot of ladies, I don't do this because sometimes I like easy, fast removal because I wear mine for a couple of days. Doing the same thing, but floating, turning my nail, making sure I get all the edges really nice, rotating, and then they'll go like this, gently around and cap it in, seal it in. As a best practice, you should do that. If you want to wear your nails for a couple weeks, I switch my manis so often, I probably wasn't even thinking about it, but I generally skip that because I like to remove mine fast. Okay, so I got a little too much liquid, there we go. If you get too much liquid, just wipe it on your paper towel or kind of maybe the bottle edge. I would say probably your paper towel first because you never know if you've got residue from your from swiping. So here's everything. We're going to let this dry for a moment, and then we're going to put some moisturizer, and we'll show you the final results. I hope you guys like this. And so here's our complete mani. I waited about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe up to 5. But just make sure before you wash your hands that that your top coat's super dry. And then go ahead, wash. You can wash with Dawn and just make sure everything's clean. I hydrated my hands with some lotion and some cuticle oil. And I'm just loving these ultra, oh my gosh, look at the glitter. I'm loving this ultra shiny result. It was super easy. I hope you guys thought so too. And, you know, I'm DIY just like you. So I think that everybody can do this. It does take a little bit of practice. So don't lose patience. If your first dip is not absolutely perfect, you will start to get used to the tools that you're using and the products that you're using. So definitely just keep practicing, and you would be so surprised from your first dip to like your fourth dip. You'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I get salon quality results and I can do it myself. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more fun videos here on the Triple D YouTube channel, then like and subscribe. And me, Miranda from Corgis One and Nails, I'll be making more videos, but so will other content creators. So this will be a collaboration platform for, all those Triple D divas that love to make videos and help out the community. So definitely like, subscribe, and come join the fun. All right, Triple D divas, love you, nail friends. See you later. Bye.